All right, so we're over here going to take off this Lennox heat exchanger. Got big old cracks in it. I'll show you when we get it out. They're actually not too huge. I believe they're on, this was setting, they're right here on the back of that old heat exchanger. I know the first two, maybe the rest of them, but especially the first one and the second one. I'm trying to figure out how to get this thing apart. All right, here's that old heat exchanger. I was wrong about there only being a crack on the first two. There's a crack on the first one. So let me open that up, because some people might not believe that's a crack. So I don't want any doubt. Anybody mind? I can't open it more, but that's a crack. That's a crack. That's another. Well, that one's almost sealed shut, but it's still cracked. Well, that one's got a big gaping hole in it. That one's pretty good compared to the rest. And there's a crack on that last one.
There wasn't there holes in the front too, Ken? Oh, okay, that's just spots or something. I thought it was most of the holes.
That's all. All right, so basically all you got to do to get one of these Lennox heat exchangers out is you want to take out your control panel right here. That just swings out of the way as long as you have, you just got to take the screws out from here on this panel on that side, and then it just kind of swings out. But to get to these screws, you have to come lift up that fan, and you are in here in the condenser. You gotta, that's some screw holes right there for it. Then once you get that out the way, unplug your Molex, and that'll give you enough swing to set it on top of your unit. Then if you take all the top screws out of your top, you'll have enough play to pick up on it and swing this door out. Then once that door is out, you're pretty much home free on getting that joker out. But there are some parts you'll have to change over, like this joker and the high limit switch. Then just put your screws back in, and that's basically it. Not terrible. And of course, you had to take the gas valve off and the assembly, which wasn't too hard in the purge blower. All you really got to worry about is getting this panel out the way with those 4 screws, unplugging that Molex, swinging it up, unscrewing the top so you can lift up on that enough to take this side panel off, just this little corner, just that first 10 inches or so. Take it off, and then you can get in here after you take all these side screws out, screws that go on that side panel. You'll be good to go.
There you go. Got that top, very top one on there. It's on there. Oh, it's on. Go inside.
hard part about this, Shannon, is trying to. Usually, if you have a little,
You want me to help you hold it on a little bit?
you could either do a little glue, or
You want me to get some of that spray stuff? No.
yeah, it might make it a lot easier on you. Just a little spritz.
I'm a professional here.
Don't go all the way in, professional.
I know what I was doing the moment I did.
I'll let you tighten that one first before I mess with that. It's going straight.
It's a pipe wrench. It's like a, yeah, I don't know what it's at. That might be it. Shows fast. All right, so we replaced this heat exchanger, and then I'll show you the issue that we're coming into now. I mean, the old heat exchanger, as you saw, was cracked, but we have a new issue. These flames are now blue, but if you give it a second, it's going to turn orange like that. All of them. It is completely cold, and that I think it has something to do with the air fuel mixture in the burners, because as soon as it starts up and it's been off for a while, there should be, I think there's plenty of oxygen or whatever combustion gases it needs, but then once it runs and purges all that out, everything turns orange like this, and it only gets more orange. And I'll show you, I'm going to take out these burners before it gets too hot. There, turn it off. Let's turn it off and show you. First time I've cranked it on since I've been here today. But luckily these burners are not bad to get to, just 4 screws, one here, 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 and here. So I'm gonna take those out, swap out these burners. I'm gonna show you when I get these burners out what I noticed. One of these burners out and compare it to the new one, and I'll show you just what I see on the burners. It really makes me, because there's a little bit of rust on these bad boys, not terrible amount, not an extreme amount of rust, but there is. We took the wire brush and cleaned it out after this. But let me get my flashlight. So this is the new one right here. And do you see how you can see light in those outermost vents? If I do the same thing to this joker, cover it up, you can't see a thing. So I think that's clogged up with rust, not letting it get the air fuel mixture right. And that's what's causing our orange flame. So I'm going to rip all these out and put all new ones in and see. And I'm pretty confident that this is the right diagnosis. One, because there's a burner, I'll show you this one, that you can just barely see. You can just barely see through it. Let's see here. You can, I don't even know if you can see through it on camera. So, yeah, but you can barely see through this one on a couple of them. And this one burns the most blue. So that kind of gives me some assurance that this is the hose. It's just disappointing when you swap out a heat exchanger, and then especially on this one. This one's way out in the country. But I don't know if I got a video or not. But there's some bear tracks here in the snow. Last time we were here replacing the exchanger. Burners out. New burners won't be put back in. That is the part number that we are using for these burners. Oh, I can't wait. See if I was right. All right, we're starting out very blue. A lot more blue than we had been. Matter of fact, some would even call that green on the edges, which is fine by me. Rather it be green than I'm inhaling a nice bit of exhaust right here. So I'm gonna step back, let that sucker do its thing, and let it warm up. Last time it took seconds to start to turn orange, and this time it is still staying a pretty blue. All right, she is still running true blue. Hardly any orange. And one thing I don't like about this system is the gas pressure. This unit is only getting 10.5 water columns to it, which is just barely enough to keep this. The unit wants a minimum of 11 inches of water column gas pressure going into it. And it's got 10, I think it's got 10.4, 10.5, and that's how much it's got coming out of the gas valve. I believe that's because the gas pipe sizing is way too small here. But it's just enough to let it run. We're gonna let them know about that. But other than that, this furnace is running beautifully. It's been running for a while now, and the flame color has not changed. So, cheerio. Yep, if you need burners for a Lennox of this model and serial, or just model, you won't have that serial, but use that part number I showed you because they are the exact same matchup and work great.